it take for a middleweight main event, 5 rounds if needed, between Vitor Belfort and Michael Bisping, both guys in their mid-30s. You see the 1-inch height advantage for Michael Bisping. The Brit also enters the octagon with a 1.5 reach advantage over the Brazilian Vitor Belfort. Let's send it inside the octagon to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Sanctioned by the Comissão Atlética Brasileira de MMA, with President Giovanni Biscardi, Chairman Rafael Pavetti. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at octagon side are Romulo Bittencourt, Mark Collette, and Sal Diamato. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Dan Mergliata. And now, senores y señores do Brazil and UFC fans watching around the world, live from the sold-out Ibirapuera Arena from Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's time! 5 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a Valley-Tuda fighter, holding a professional record, 24 wins, 4 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 186 pounds, 84.4 kilos. Fighting out of Manchester, England, Michael the Count Bisping. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record, 21 wins, 10 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 185 pounds, 84 kilos. Fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida, USA, by way of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a former UFC light heavyweight champion, Vitor the Phenom Belfort!
All right, guys, been through the rules in the locker room. I want you to obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. Have a good, clean fight. You want to touch gloves, do it now. Good luck to both of you.
And they touch him up, and we are ready to go with our middleweight main event, Bisping and Belfort. And we are underway. The Fight Clock is brought to you by Taken 2. Own it on Blu-ray and DVD today. And most of the experts who forecasted a Vitor Belfort victory thought he had to get it done in these first couple rounds where he'll be at his most explosive.
Yeah, Vitor likes to kind of circle it around, analyze a little bit. Once he figures things out, he likes to explode. Very fast feet, very fast hands. Michael Bisping, though, trying to find his range right off the bat, keeping his hands high. And this is where he has to be careful here.
Nice inside leg kick there for Bisping. Landing on the southpaw Belfort.
What I really liked about Bisping is how active he is. High volume striker, likes to stay busy.
And really is in perpetual motion. His feet don't spend a lot of time on the canvas.
And that's probably the most underrated aspect of Michael Bisping's game is his footwork. Does a great job of getting in and getting out. We saw that on full display in his last fight against Stan and showed some great offensive skills as well. Nice little jab going backwards from Bisping.
Bisping certainly weary of Belfort's power, but has a lot of confidence in his chin.
Belfort really hasn't let his hands go so far. And we saw him pretty hesitant in John Jones' fight with his hands. Most likely because of that long reach of John Jones, but we're seeing him very, very patient in this fight against Bisping as well.
A little bit of a feeling out process here early. Perhaps Vitor Belfort pacing himself.
There's Belfort starting to find range with his left hand. And now look for that finish with the right hand, that right hook. As soon as he starts finding his range with his left, he'll finish the combination with that right hook, and that's the one that Bisping really needs to be careful with.
Belfort with a nice counter shot there.
Bisping always had sharp hands, sharp combinations, but I've seen it tighten up even more with the work that Jason Perillo really has cleaned up his fundamentals that much more. And Bisping, one of those guys who rarely makes mistakes. Just very clean fighter with excellent fundamentals.
And he brought in some guys to mimic the southpaw Vitor Belfort, but really says he's mostly focused on himself, improving his own skills and focusing on his own strengths as Belfort lands to the midsection there.
Bisping doing a great job of really moving his head side to side, John, and that's what's allowing him to slip those punches of Belfort. And now it's his jab. We saw everything was coming off that jab when he was facing Brian Stann, and Michael Bisping was setting his takedowns up. He's landing a beautiful 1-2, and he's doing it again against Belfort.
Yeah, saw some offensive wrestling from Bisping his last time out. Perhaps he'll employ the takedown here against Vitor Belfort.
Took a little eye poke there. Looks like he's okay now.
Bisping presses forward there with the left hand.
Bisping has such a great 1-2 combination. He lands it so well. Nice little spinning attack from Bisping. Caught Belfort there with the jab as Vitor was coming in. Belfort landed a nice left hand, nice kick right after.
Seems as though Vitor's looking for that counter here in the early going.
Yeah, but you know, Belfort's looking for that one shot. He's gonna have to put his combinations together, let the knockout come, just kind of string together shots, and he just landed a huge left high kick that hurt Bisping.
Yeah, set up nicely by the left hand, and Vitor working Bisping here early.
Looks like they collided heads there. Nice end of the round for Belfort.
Sit down.
Excelente. Tempo, respira fundo.
Breathe deep.
Respira fundo. Respira fundo.
Deep.
Respira fundo. Segura, segura. Segura. É isso aí. Tá jogando bem.
You're doing very good.
Eu quero ver mais direto de
I want to see more of your left cross. Throw the cross.
Tá fazendo certo, ele tá nervoso.
Keep pressuring him, he's
Ele tá
nervous.
nervoso, ele não tem que na tua perna, ele tá com medo.
He's nervous, he's not trying to take it down.
Breathe. Awesome job, let's go, baby. You got it. Keep it tight, Mike.
Stay strong.
Back here in Sao Paulo and ready for round two, Vitor Belfort and Michael Bisping. And it's Bisping taking the center of the octagon here to begin our second round. Trying to pepper that lead leg of the Brazilian.
Belfort looking to counter Bisping. He wants Bisping to come in and see if he can catch him as he comes forward. Bisping now bleeding from his nose, John.
And no signs of that in between rounds, so that was something that was opened up here early round two.
I'll tell you what, Bisping was looking really sharp in that first round, but at the end of that first round, he took a huge high kick that really changed things for him, and now Belfort working some nice 1-2s. Belfort looking to counter Bisping, but it'd be very difficult to do that with Bisping's footwork. He gets in, he gets out very well.
Belfort very fluid and relaxed here in the early going.
There it is again, that left high kick.
And Bisping is opened up and in all sorts of trouble. That'll do it. Vitor Belfort has done it. Vitor Belfort has knocked out Michael Bisping. And the Brazilians are going nuts.
Tremendous high kick. It caught Michael Bisping right on the outside of the eye there. Really rocked him. That is one of the most dangerous shots as a kicker and being a southpaw, that left high kick. And he caught it flush on Bisping.
He landed a glancing blow in that first round. He certainly made that one count in round 2. And he derails the title shot hopes of Michael Bisping. The move of the fight is brought to you by Metro PCS 4G LTE for all.
Well, he landed it in the first round and he landed it in the second to get the finish. You can see Bisping's hands were down just as he threw it. Boom! Right on the temple. And from there, we know about Vitor Belfort's killer instinct. If he has you hurt, many times, it's gonna be the end.
And Bisping covered up, appeared to be defending himself, appeared to recover pretty well from that huge high kick, but Dan Miragliotta stops the fight, and Vitor Belfort is your winner by TKO. What a performance by the Brazilian here on the home turf. We get to the official decision when we return to Sao Paulo. Stay with us, it's the UFC.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Miragliotta has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 27 seconds of round number 2. Declaring the winner by TKO, Vitor the Phenom Belfort!
All right, we are ready for the main event, the tail of the tape for this middleweight scrap. The Brazilian Vitor Belfort, 36 years old. The American Luke Rockhold is 28. The number that jumps off the page, 6'3" tall, and every bit of it is Luke Rockhold. It's a 3-inch height and 3-inch reach advantage for the slight favorite, Luke Rockhold. To get us going, the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at Octagon side are Guilherme Bravo, Doug Crosby, and Howard Hughes. When the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon, Leon Roberts. And now, Senhoras y Senhores do Brasil, from the sold-out Arena Jaragua in Santa Catarina, Brazil. It's time! 5 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record, 10 wins, 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 186 pounds, 84.4 kilos. Fighting out of San Jose, California, USA. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the former Strikeforce middleweight champion, Luke Rockhold. And now, introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record, 22 wins, 10 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 186 pounds, 84.4 kilos. Fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida, USA, by way of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the former UFC light heavyweight champion, Vitor the Phenom Belfort!
Gentlemen, you both know the rules, you both know what to expect. Protect yourselves at all times, obey me at all times. Fight hard, fight fair, fight clean. If you want to touch gloves, do so now.
Well, the anticipation is off the charts for this one. A monster fight at 185 pounds. Luke Rockhold making his UFC debut against the seasoned, grizzled veteran, the Phenom Vitor Belfort. Belfort in the red trunks with white trim and Rockhold in the blue trunks with black. A slip there early for Luke Rockhold, who was very mindful of the importance of these first 5 minutes when Vitor Belfort has been at his best.
Rockhold pursuing here, and you gotta watch out. You can't be lulled to sleep by Vitor Belfort, who is a phenomenal counter striker. How about that spinning kick out of the repertoire of Vitor Belfort? Something we really don't see from him, and that's part of his development as a striker here. And staying nice and calm, waiting for that opportunity to strike.
And an early shoot for the takedown there for Luke Rockhold. And Vitor presses forward. He touches Rockhold with the right hand there.
So fast. Luke Rockhold able to tie him up. Luke Rockhold, just a huge middleweight. Looking to mix things up early against Belfort.
Luke Rockhold really with a no-nonsense approach to everything during fight week. He has been angry, he has been emotional, and look at a controlled distance with his kicking game here. Nice counter combo there from Vitor, just misses.
Rockhold with a nice little check hook there as he spins out of the pressure of Vitor Belfort. He's just so fundamentally sound. Rockhold is so consistent, very precise, not a lot of wasted movement. That's what makes him one of the best middleweights in the world. Vitor Belfort very composed out there, waiting for his opportunity to counter-strike. Nice left hand from Luke Rockhold.
And as we've seen out of Vitor Belfort, oftentimes all it can take is one slight crack, one slight opening for his opponent to be twitching on the canvas. Oh! Advantage. Good to see Luke Rockhold get back to his feet, but Vitor Belfort again just knocking off contenders left and right, and you can be sure Anderson and Chris Weidman are paying attention.
It's one thing to talk about explosiveness, but it's another thing to see it in person. Vitor Belfort, lightning quick. And again, we talked about how he's evolving as a mixed martial artist, John. That was not a technique that Vitor Belfort had in his repertoire. And here he is unleashing it for the first time and landing it. He did it again against Bisping with that left high kick. He showed it in the first round, got the knockout in the second. He showed it in the first, that spinning kick right to the head of Rockhold, and they landed it the second time again. Oh, here it is, Vitor Belfort, a human highlight reel. Spinning kick, look at how he looked at the target. This isn't luck, he was looking at the target. This was the second time that he used it in this fight. And man, you don't see things like that coming. What a spectacular knockout against a high-level opponent in Luke Rockhold. Vitor Belfort is ready for that next title shot.
And that right there is one of the best knockouts in mixed martial arts history. Turned in by Vitor Belfort. Vitor Belfort getting it done once again here on the home turf with style points. How about that? Well, the celebration will continue deep into the night here in Jaraguá do Sul. The official decision when we return. Stay with us. I trust you will. It's the UFC on FX. And we continue from Arena Jaraguá in Jaraguá do Sul, Brazil. Vitor Belfort is all smiles. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Leon Roberts has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 32 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by knockout, Vitor the Belfort.
We get to the tail of the tape, sponsored by Bud Light. Here we go, the 36-year-old Belfort opposite the 43-year-old Dan Henderson. A 1-inch height advantage for Vitor Belfort. Both guys measured with a 74-inch reach. A huge fight, and we are ready for it. To get us started, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Sanctioned by the Brazilian Athletic Commission. Our 3 judges scoring this contest at octagon side are Guillermo Bravo, Doug Crosby, and Cardo Urso. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Dan Mergliata. And now, senhoras y senhores do Brasil, and UFC fans watching around the world, live from Goiânia, Brazil, it's time! 5 rounds in the UFC light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 29 wins, 10 losses. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing in at 204 pounds, 92.5 kilos. Fighting out of Temecula, California, USA, he is the former Pride welterweight and middleweight champion and the former Strikeforce light heavyweight champion, Dan Henderson. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist holding a professional record, 23 wins, 10 losses. He stands 6 feet tall, weighing in at 204 pounds, 92.5 kilos. Fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida, USA, by way of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the former UFC heavyweight tournament champion and the former UFC light heavyweight champion, Vitor the Phenom Belfort!
All right, gentlemen, you get through the rules in the locker room. I want you to obey my commands at all times. I want you to protect yourselves at all times. If you want to touch gloves, do it now. Best of luck to both of you. Good luck.
Well, a nervous energy throughout this building here tonight. So much at stake between Dan Henderson and Vitor Belfort.
You ready, Dan? Victor, you ready? Let's go, fight!
And a quick touch, and we're underway. The fight clock is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
You're going to see the speed of Vitor Belfort versus the power of Dan Henderson here. Vitor is going to have to be very careful. Even if he hurts Dan Henderson, we've seen Henderson come back and score a knockout of his own. Has a tremendous chin. Vitor Belfort staying patient out there, circling to his left, which is Henderson's right hand, but keeping at a distance here.
Dan Henderson has dished out a ton of punishment throughout his career, has taken a few big shots as well, but no one has been able to put him away. And And no surprise, mutual respect, the story of the first 60 seconds. And they're dropping down, and Belfort drops him.
Not sure if it was a shot or if Henderson was knocked off balance there. Vitor Belfort trying to finish off Henderson.
Huge kick. Mergliata steps in. Vitor Belfort has done it again.
Left kick once again. We saw it against Bisping. Henderson seemed to be hurt there. As he was getting up, Belfort threw that left kick. Henderson was trying to get back to his feet. Mergliata stopped the fight there. But just like that, you'll see Belfort buying his time, circling, not doing anything, and out of nowhere, just explodes.
And just when you thought Vitor Belfort couldn't top his previous performance, he does so. He becomes the first to finish Dan Henderson with strikes here tonight in Brazil. Wow. All right, let's get to the move of the fight. It is brought to you by Metro PCS, now nationwide 4G LTE.
Well, again, Belfort just kind of watching, analyzing. Look at that left hook. Was he off balance? Nope. Left hook right to the jaw. Knocked Henderson down. And from there, Belfort was swarming him with punches. But it wasn't until Henderson got back to his feet that Belfort was able to finish the job. Henderson still kind of hurt there, fighting hard to get back to his feet. Just as he got back to his feet, Belfort sent him right back down. You can see Henderson's eyes roll back. Excellent stoppage from Mergliata here. Boom!
And the crowd is chanting, the champ is back. You saw Hendo grab for that leg. Was a little bit disappointed in the stoppage there, but this night is about Vitor Belfort, who does it once again in dramatic, dynamic fashion.
There's no doubt that Henderson was hurt there. He wasn't out. He was doing his best to get back in. Wow.
Well, you gotta think Vitor Belfort is coming to a championship fight near you shortly. The official decision is next.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Mergliata has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 17 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by knockout, Vitor the Phenom